Hello everybody, welcome. It's been a while since we've been here in NASCAR Heat 5 career mode, but we are back and getting ready for the Kansas truck race, race number 9 of the season. And as the NASCAR race in real life gets ready to start at Michigan, all over to the left of me, I have that on. Yep, so we're going to try to get a race or two in here, and I may try to start F1 2020 as well. I might possibly try to start that. And obviously 8 o'clock Eastern we have 2 truck races coming up. It's the truck weekend, truck Sunday, so double header of 2 25% races in the trucks. Darlington being one of them, I remember. I can't remember the other one. Darlington. But since we're in the NASCAR Heat game, let me announce some NASCAR Heat content coming up. So, perfect time to announce the fact that the trucks in the League of America is running tonight at Darlington, and what do you know, Kansas Speedway. Well, I can use this as a practice session for later on, as we are at Darlington and Kansas.
As our country continues to move towards
tonight, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern, Darlington is first, Kansas follows.
To return to our lives. We make all these prayers with great faith, hope, and love. Amen.
And now to perform the national anthem. Buena Vista Records and 19 entertainment recording artists whose single Tiny Town is available now with virtual tour dates on LaneHardyMusic.com. American Idol winner Lane Hardy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Time for the drivers to
Could that have been any better timing? By the way, I didn't even plan that. The national anthem just went off in the real race as we get ready to start ours, as we're going to qualify first here at Kansas Speedway.
This summer, we've all got miles to make up. Miles to the job site, to the campsite, and anything else we set our sights on. Miles to take us back to the people we've missed, and to those who can make this summer mean more than before. Get the most out of those miles during the Ram Summer Class event.
Home to legends and greats. I am a super speedway. I am a road course. I am both. I am not one for second guessing, twisting this season's fate into all 14 of my turns. I am hallowed ground, from the breaking to the high banks, and I am one of the last chances to make it to the playoffs. I am the Daytona road course. I am NASCAR.
We miss you. It's totally not the same without you. We're finally back and can't wait until you are too. Universal Orlando Resort. Buy now and get 2 days free at the parks. Restrictions apply.
7. Why does it keep showing the white box? That's annoying.
the nation, growing faster than Verizon and AT&T, and even growing faster than T-Mobile. It's easy to see why. Spectrum delivers the fastest overall speeds and is the most reliable mobile service coast to coast. There are no contracts, added taxes, or fees. Switch, and you can save up to 40% and see why Spectrum Mobile is the fastest growing mobile provider. Learn more at spectrummobile.com.
Get our selection at nuts.com today.
These folks, they don't have time to go to the post office. They have businesses to grow, customers to care for, lives to get home to. They use stamps.com. Print discounted postage for any letter, any package, anytime, right from your computer.
All right, let's get her done.
Plus UPS, only cheaper. Get our special TV offer, a 4-week trial plus postage and a digital scale. Go to stamps.com/save and get.
There's nothing like just getting out on the racetrack and being in that car. It's what I love to do. I love racing and I love driving.
Kidding me? The Rays beat the Yankees?
For 2 months, we haven't heard that. That's the sound of a new era. No more welcome sight in the world of sports.
Live streams watching the whole country's pulling for you. The sports world is pulling for you.
What a season that is turning out.
Oh, Tanner Gray got loose already underneath me there.
Weeks out in the race car, it's my passion for racing even more so. We've been a leader as a sport as far as coming back the way that we have. It's nice to hear some familiar voices on the radio again and get back to competition. I hope that as a sport we can bring some level of normalcy and some healing.
Kevin Harvick will survive and become the 3-time winner of the Brickyard 400.
To be able to sit down and watch a NASCAR race was important for our country. We enjoy giving them the entertainment every weekend.
NASCAR, once again, the second day of the doubleheader at Michigan International Speedway. Let's go now to pit road. Marty Snyder.
Well, yesterday, right here at Michigan, Chase Elliott had a terrific run, but he told me this morning, I think we're just lacking too much speed to be able to keep up with Kevin Harvick. The one thing in their favor, it is much warmer, much more humid here in Michigan today. Chase told me that could certainly help us if handling is a bigger factor, Kelly.
Michigan native Brad Keselowski was just one spot away from victory lane yesterday, but as his coaching Jerry Boland told me, hey, that's the great thing about these doubleheaders. We get another crack at it today. He and Brad compared notes after the race last night, and we're essentially on the same page. So he said he made a couple of little tweaks that they think might help close the gap to that for Kevin Harvick. 33 career wins for Brad Keselowski. Marty, but you know if he won here on home soil, it would be one of his biggest.
Kelly, a lot of positivity in the Kyle Busch camp for the 18 team. He told me we unloaded the best we have since we returned from the COVID break, and it's certainly something to work with for today. They talked about how they don't have practice. Well, yesterday, they had 312 laps of practice, Kelly. They're hoping they can get it done today here at Michigan.
Yeah, there's just one word to describe Kevin Harvick's performance and win yesterday, and that is dominance. He led 92 laps, swept all 3 stages. So what did they change overnight? Absolutely nothing. Rodney Turbos told me sometimes it's easier to mess things up when you're looking for more speed. The only thing that has changed, Rick, his starting spot with Ian Burke, he'll line up 20th.
And it's going to be fun, Kelly, to watch him go from 20th to maybe get back up to the front to sweep the weekend. Time now for the command of fire engines. Please welcome Brian Effrick. He's the Senior Vice President and Chief Customer Officer of CMS Energy Corporation and Consumers Energy Company.
Hello, race fans from the Consumers Energy family and my own. Drivers, start your engines!
A family sport and definitely a family command as they are firing the engines now. Can Ford sweep and win the Heritage Trophy for manufacturers? Or will we see another manufacturer find victory lane? 312 miles in front of us from Michigan coming up.
The new house is amazing. So much character.
Original molding, walk-in closets.
We do have a wrap top. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
It does help us save.
All right, you're clear.
go to NGOTS.com.
With Domino's $5.99 mix and match deal, you can feed a family of 4 for about $3 per person. So we asked one of our families to help us make this commercial about that deal. Safely feed a family of 4 for about $3 per person with the $5.99 mix and match deal.
One thing that's certain in life is change. Change is certain every single day. Even in the pandemic, I've learned a lot about myself as a business owner. You know, pulling yourself out of the tough times and pushing things. It's so
I had the setup good for a while, but man, that just completely died out, man.
you just gotta sacrifice, you know?
I know I have it pretty tight, but I was running fine, but it still feels very tight. And now everybody else seems to be running a little better than me. I need to adjust on this truck. I can't turn this truck in the corner anymore. And
Stop overpaying for sunglasses and get
struggling here early on at Kansas.
that you can try for 30 days risk-free. If you lose or break them, we'll send you a brand new pair. Visit ShadyRays.com for 50% off 2 pairs with code TV50.
If you've got a military, first responder, or law enforcement background, GovX.com is for you. Members save on epic brands and the gear they need for on and off duty lives. Signing up is fast, easy, and totally free. If you qualify, visit GovX.com.
It's time to go for the first doubleheader this weekend. The green flag is out in Michigan. Evan Harvick, he has been the Michigan man. He's going to win. Good job, this will be stage 2 win for Kevin Harvick.
Wow, we are going backwards quick right now. Jesus.
One stage 1, one stage 2, and won the race. Can you do it again today? NASCAR Cup Series racing from Michigan. The Consumers Energy 400. Normally this time I would show you the starting grid, but it has changed considerably because of penalties and guys going to backup cars. Steve, to the rear, the list here is 11 deep.
Yeah, 11 cars. A reminder, it was going to be an invert of the top 20 from yesterday, but with all of these cars going to the back, we're going to actually show you the guys how they're going to take green flag. So this is how they're listed as a lineup. When they roll off turn 4, this is what you're going to see with the green flag. And I think this benefits no one more than William Byron. He'll start inside row 1. That's 3 rows higher than he was planning on starting. Clint Boyer outside row 1. Clint been very vocal about bad starting positions. Doesn't get much better. We'll see if he can capitalize.
And there were 2 more added to that, by the way. There were 13 that are going to the rear. So we look back here, row 6 has Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, one of the fastest yesterday. Can he finish it up? Ryan Keselowski right behind him, the Michigan-born driver. No Michigan-born driver has ever won. Yesterday I mentioned Benny Parsons had one. Benny Parsons wasn't born in Michigan. He was born in North Carolina.
Yeah, you see yesterday's winner Harvick all the way back to row 10. A lot of excitement there. And then look at all this. To the rear, to the rear, to the rear. Big names back here. Reddick, Almirola in the backup car. Talked to Almirola. Disappointed in their run yesterday. They got a new approach today. I think that's going to fix it. Newman and Friesen were in accidents. So Cole Custer, another guy that got an accident late. We'll see if these backup cars can perform like they had hoped.
So again, a jump lineup there. As we mentioned, that was the way they will come to the green to start this race. And we see the 19 of Mark Truex Jr. rolling off the pit road. Now let's chat with him. Dale Earnhardt Jr., can you dial up his radio?
Hey, Mark Truex Jr., Dale Jr., you got us?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey, man, as a fan yesterday watching this race, that shoes rule was pretty cool. What do you think about it and how you going to use it today?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Good game in the box up there, obviously. So I was hoping I could, at some point, be the guy that started the front of the bottom line, but never got that opportunity. So we'll see what today brings. You know, that outside is obviously preferred, but if you can get the right push on the bottom, up front, you can do some good.
It's a little bit warmer today. Is that going to affect the way your car drives and what you guys did to the car this morning?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a little bit different. You know, hopefully we made the right adjustments. You know, our car seemed to handle really, really well yesterday. Hopefully that'll play in our favor today.
All right, buddy. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
And broadcast broadcasting from home once again is Rutledge Wood, and one of the biggest stories that has taken place over the past week is the fact that Eric Jones will be
wrecked there.
Racing next season, and with more on that, we go to Rutledge Wood. Hey, Rut.
Don't move. Stay high.
That's right, Rick. You know, it's a big change what's going on there. Obviously, the Byron, Michigan native is a huge car person. The reason that he got into racing was because of his dad. When I asked fans to send in pictures of their cars this week, take a look at the 65 Corvette that he sent in. Now, this is a car that was owned by his father, Dave, and when Eric was racing as a teenager, his dad sold the car to fund his racing, and Eric always had the dream of buying this car back and giving it to his dad, Dave, as a gift. And unfortunately, due to lung cancer that was very rapid, Dave passed away, and Eric wasn't able to do that. 6 months after he passed away, he was able to buy this car back, make a few changes, and this is one of his prized possessions. One of those things that links and reminds him of his father's support for racing. And how huge would it be, guys, if today that Byron, Michigan native takes that car to victory lane amongst all the other changes? What a special thing that would be.
Yeah, losing your father too soon. Eric Jones, obviously that was the guy who handled everything that was going on in Eric Jones's life as far as his racing career, and so to lose his father so quickly was difficult on him. He's still obviously reeling from that, but the big news is that he is not going to be back in Children's racing. The Byron, Michigan native would love to get to victory lane and break that streak of no Michigan-born driver has ever won.
He did a great job yesterday in the stages, gaining a lot of points. He's to try to do that again today.
He finished 11th, didn't finish as well as he run. He's trying to clean that up. Difficult time in Eric's life, right? And trying to figure out what he's going to do next. People around him are going to have to really support him and help him make the right decision. And continue to work hard, right? I mean, when somebody tells you they don't want you anymore, it hurts your feelings. It's got to motivate you. It's got to go back to work and go find a better situation for yourself.
So in front of Eric Jones and the field is a 312-mile race, Steve. So let's break down this race.
You mentioned it, 312 miles, shorter than a normal Michigan race because of the doubleheader weekend. The same high-speed 2-mile track we saw yesterday. The width, the length of the corners, the crazy restarts, 18 degrees of banking is what it's calculated at. That lower lane, though, does race like it's a little bit flatter, a little bit less grip. That's why up the track preferred on the restarts. Stage 1, 40 laps. Rick, don't blink. 40 laps is going to go by in a hurry. 45 laps, stage 2. Final stage, 71 laps. Fuel window just shy of 50 laps to close.
We get right along, and yesterday it was amazing watching after the choose area and then seeing these guys battle for position. We ride along with a few of them. So, drivers, can you take us through the cameras?
Yeah, Kevin Harvick has the Busch Light Apple camera, and he'll be coming from mid-pack. He'll win this race. It'll be interesting to see if he can win a stage. Joe Logano has the Ford camera as well. He's got a reverse driver camera inside there, so we can look back and see him wheeling on that car all day long.
We'll talk about Eric Jones. You can ride along with him today with the Toyota Cam. Providing some great shots. The best view of all right here, the cow cam. Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer has been the guy that has complained about the drama that he's been getting on these restarts. He's starting to front today. No excuses.
Can't complain about what has happened here other than the fact that the reason he's up here is because of the inversion and all of the cars have gone away. But Steve, he has to get to the start-finish line first because he's the control car.
That's basically it. So the start of the race, not restart. The start of the race, flag man's going to start the race. Clint Boyer's going to accelerate. And the inside of row 1, William Byron needs to make sure that Clint Boyer is the first guy to start finish line. If we can get that all figured out, then we will be within the rules. One team that had a little bit of trouble with the rules, unapproved adjustments we're hearing on the 3 of Austin Dillon. He'll be forced to make a pass-through after the race begins. Here in Michigan, that's a lap.
Yeah.
It's 40-second laps. Over 40, it should be a lap. He should basically lose a lap or come out right in front of the leaders. That is a tough way to start the race. Now, the good news for Austin Dillon is when we talk about the playoffs, his name's in yellow. So he sits back with that win thinking, I'm in, thank goodness. Plus, it's a long race. We saw cars recover. Well, it's a short race, but we did see some cars recover yesterday. We'll see if the 3 can do it.
All right, we'll see how Clint Boyer does as he leads the field to the green flag. Second race of the doubleheader underway for Michigan. That inside line getting a push. 24-48 lined up. Jimmy Johnson
Benedetto to the top. 3 flying around back. Finley is going to use that momentum to suck him out. Jimmy Johnson push him down the back straightaway.
Joey Logano trying to go 4 wide underneath. Kurt Busch into turn 3.
Benedetto to the outside of Jimmy Johnson. Wait, can't quite get there.
Joey Logano, that yellow car in the left side car. Late line, big trouble in the middle. They'll work that out somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, big advantage to Kurt Busch. Look at the front he got because of that.
I can't let the super loose. Good was loose.
Still there.
Those guys lost a lot of momentum. Look at the track position. Kevin Harvick slicing up through there.
They had great track position to start this race. And there's one lap.
Pick your teammates battling it out here. Matt almost went 3 wide there, but he's going to push Jimmy back into second place here around Byron. This is an important stage for both Jimmy and Byron to grab some points. Right around that bubble, both those guys trying to make the playoffs.
Talked to Matt Benedetto this morning, and he said that yesterday was the worst car he had driven all year long. Major changes today.
Yeah, he's looking very strong now. Stewart, the 21, they're chasing after the 48. Marty?
Yeah, I talked to Cliff Daniels, the crew chief for Jimmy Johnson. He mentioned exactly what you talked about, Junior. This is a critical stage for the 48 team. Right now, they come into this race 16 points below the cut line, so they need to gain some points in this stage. I asked Cliff, are you paying attention to the other teams on the bubble? He said, absolutely not. I did last year. It drove me crazy. All I'm worried about this year, the 48. We went up front. We'll get points. We'll make the playoffs.
Jimmy had some great speed yesterday. He get that track position and maintain it. He can't do that today. He had a great day in points. Look at some of these guys that run well yesterday that had to start toward the back of the top 20, working their way through the field. Harvick, Truex.
And guys, I know it's early in this race, but you don't want to look at that 4 car in front of you. You saw the speed it had yesterday. Like, you just do not want to give that spot up at all. You may not ever get it back.
Jeff, when I'm really watching Mark Truex Jr. in the 19, I know the 4 is the dominant car, but remember, Mark Truex Jr. had a flat tire stage 1, spent over 50% of the race a lap down. That hurts you, making adjustments, improving your race car. I really look at him as the guy that can compete against Harvick. We'll see if he gets a huge push by Joey Logano in that top lane. Even the greatest car out there from yesterday, Harvick. Oh, gets loose, Truex up the track. Joey right on this bumper, gets him loose. But that inside line, if you don't have the momentum just right, you can be trained by that outside line down the front straightaway. Cleaning up real quick for Priya Boston Dillon, as I mentioned, did do his pass through penalty a long ways from the last track. He'll take his slide up the racetrack. There's Priya about a half a lap down, so hopefully he can stay in front of the leaders before the yellow. Hang high up here.
All right, you're predicting a yellow, Steve?
Well, I know there's going to be 35 more laps.
Okay. I was like, wow.
Well, if this continues,
Tyler Reddick in the 8 down there at the bottom. Truex is here.
He's already loose before Logano gets there. I thought Logano had a big effect on him, but I think he was already getting out of shape. That car, the Truex, is just not quite into the racetrack like it was yesterday. You would wonder, hey, how can the cars be that much different? They ran these cars yesterday, they were great, drove well. How can they not handle well today? We've seen that time and time again. We raced at Pocono almost a month apart. Cars will handle so different from one race to the other. This is yesterday's event. Harvick is right on the corner. That 18 car gets him loose, take the lead.
Still there.
We debated on whether there was contact there, guys. We still are debating on that one. So close.
Yeah, by the way, Kyle Busch, he thinks he was hit.
Yeah. Of course he does.
Yeah. So he didn't want to debate it at all. He was pretty certain he got hit. As we see Mark Truex Jr. has to point in the right direction again. And now, big run by the 47. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. making the move on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by Mark Truex Jr.
Yeah, you see Truex struggling. And back to my point, Steve, let me ask you, your crew chief. That used to confuse me, how we could be really strong at Pocono, go back a month later, and the car never drove the city. If it's possible even today from yesterday, how does that work out? Well, 10 degrees of track temperature makes a big difference. And by the way, the other 39 competitors aren't just sitting on their hands. They're trying to make their car better. So as we've learned time and time again, we see a good battle between Byron and Bell for the 4th position. Cars drive good until you push them to your limit. If the field runs faster, you're asked to run faster. You may get to the grip level of the race car. It does seem like the 19 is struggling so far as he's only back to the 21st position.
tracks in Michigan, but right off the bat, Fast and Furious action. Joey Logano underneath, making it 4 wide, drives into the corner, right along Matt Kenseth. Watch both of these cars almost wrecked. Big trouble right there for both of them. Not real sure how we can see a caution very early in this race.
I'm struggling with this car right now. Sorry. I even made this thing looser. It just doesn't feel like it did much at all.
And to those who can make this summer mean more than ever before.
I'm struggling bad, and look how far back I am, but I'm only 4th. Of course, I have Sauter catching me pretty quick, so I'll drop the spot here in a minute.
On top of what Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? DJ Khaled to be your motivational coach?
Yo, Devin, remember to brush in a circle motion. Thank you, DJ Khaled. Tiny circles, dude. Do another one. Hold your line. Another one. That one's nice. Bring that work, Devin. Don't give up.
Geico. Save an extra 15% when you switch by October 7th.
Terrain, 1%. More Stanley's Cup. There's nothing like playoff hockey. The Stanley Cup playoff.
You don't know who to believe. You don't know what the truth is. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and no man comes to the Father but by me. If you put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, He'll guide and direct every step you take. God loves you, and He wants to forgive you. But the problem we face is sin, and our sins separate us from God. Jesus took our sins to the cross. And if you're willing to trust Him as your Savior, and pray a prayer with me right now, God will forgive your sins and heal your heart. Just pray this prayer. God, I've sinned. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I believe Jesus is your Son, and I want to trust Him as my Savior. And I want to follow Him for the rest of my life. If you prayed that prayer, call that number that's on the screen. We've got people that like to pray with you now. Do it now. God bless you, and call that number. I'm right to pray.
Joey Logano was having a wild ride. Well, his weekend got started on Friday when he joined Formula D driver Von Gittin at Ford's Proving Grounds in Michigan to test drive the all-electric Ford Mach E 1400 prototype aimed at bridging the gap between what an electric vehicle can do and what customers tend to believe it can do. So, pretty amazing the ride that Joey Logano had this weekend. And a wild ride already on the racetrack here at Michigan International Speedway. Day companion. Christopher Bell moved up into the 2nd spot now as he was able to get by Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy Johnson has fallen all the way back to 6th now from the wrong direction, but this is the pass.
Yeah, this just happened. Jimmy's struggling just a little bit. Christopher just easily goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Carrying more throttle, just getting around a little faster.
So the big story this week also with Christopher Bell behind the wheel of the 95. The Lang Family Racing is selling this team. So huge news there coming out of that organization. Bob Levine, very important message was saying how it's so difficult to have to do, but he has to do it.
Yeah, so I think there's 2 questions. What's going to happen to this team? Who the owners are? We haven't heard that yet. I talked to Jason Radcliffe, the crew chief of the 95, and he said, I talked to my road crew and told them that I know there's a lot of unanswered questions. If anyone has an opportunity, I'll do anything I can to support you. But he believes in this group, and he said the good news is this team is not dissolving, it's being purchased. We're going to believe that whoever buys this team is going to want to run this car. The question is, will Christopher Bell be the driver? A lot of rumors where he ends up. But then Eric Jones knew, logically, maybe he goes to Joe Gibbs Racing at the 20, but Jeff, we've not heard any of that. Those are just rumors through the garage area. Nothing's been confirmed.
And nothing's been confirmed, and we talk a lot about the drivers, right, and what's going to happen with the drivers, but there's a lot of people that essentially were at Joe Gibbs Racing that went over to the line and were working with Christopher Bell there. What's going to happen with those guys, or what's going to happen with those people? So it's not just a driver change. Those driver changes in this cell affects every single employee, and that's what they do for a living. That's how send their kids to school. These are people that are now left in question about what's going to happen with their future. Marty.
And Jeff, when you asked Christopher Bell about the business side of things, he said, honestly, from the beginning, I've taken the approach of, I drive the car. That's my job. I'll be wherever they want me to be next year. But my focus is just to do the best I can right now on the 95 car. And he's doing a terrific job right now. Started 8th, worked his way up to 2nd. And remember yesterday, Kelly, he had a really good run going until a couple of late restarts put him back in the field.
One of those bubble drivers started this race 40 points and above the cut line, and as the guys mentioned, did not have a race car in his yesterday. They spent the first half of the race too late, the second half too tight, so they made wholesale changes and then set up overnight the crew here, working in the garage until midnight to get it done. They kind of felt like there was only one way to go, and that was to get better here today. So far, it looks pretty good for Matty D running third, and behind him, William Byron, another bubble driver. He started just 16 points above the cut line, and his crew chief Chad Knaus told me it was going to be really tough for them to point their way into the playoffs. They're worried about those wild card races that we still have ahead of us, and they think their own teammate Jimmy Johnson could win at Dover, which could knock them out. One of the biggest troubles he said they've had, Marty, is track position. Well, he finally got it starting on the front row today, so we'll see if they can convert that into points in stage one.
Kelly, terrific run yesterday for Bubba Wallace, finishing 9th today, right now running 14th. And in the continuing saga of Bubba's silly season, a report came out earlier today that he does indeed already own a piece of Richard Petty Motorsports. I asked him before the race, is that true? Andy Murstein, the co-owner of the team, confirmed it. Bubba said, yeah, I've owned a piece of the team since 2019. I just didn't talk about it very much. But he did tell me it is not locked and loaded that I'm staying in this 43 car next year in 2021. There's an offer from the 43, and he said, frankly, there's an offer from Chip Ganassi Racing for the 42 car as well. He said, I'm weighing everything I can right now. We'll make a decision hopefully soon. So the saga, Rick, continues about where Bubba will wind up in 2021.
Well, yeah, and Eric Jones' name got thrown into the mix just recently, so you have Jimmy Johnson stepping away as far as retirement. Bubba Wallace, where will he end up? It seems like he has a few different offers that he is weighing right now. Eric Jones has mentioned that he has opportunities as we ride along with him, trying to get by William Byron.
I think that's an interesting situation to be in between choosing the 42 cars, maybe where he's at the 43. I mean, performance-wise, they're very similar right now. If not, the 43 actually is on the uptick.
I think they mentioned that he had an offer from somebody. They named who it was. I'm not sure I've heard that.
Love the transparency. Well, you guys mentioned the 42. It's getting that point of the season. You know, Rick, we started. COVID stops the season. The season gets back going again. Well, this is unfortunate news if you're Chad Johnson, the crew chief of the 42. He was relieved of his duties a week ago. Phil Surgeon is the new crew chief. Now, as a spectator, it kind of feels like we're back to normal. We're in the middle of the year. Teams are trying to improve their performance. It's been no secret this 42 has underperformed. They had hoped to see more out of Matt Kenseth. No telling what he was going to have with his layoff coming back in the car. But this crew chief change tells me that Chip Ganassi Racing thinks this car can run better. And as we hear, I think we all know Matt Kenseth isn't a long-term guy there, right? So to improve the performance, it may be attractive to the driver.
You know, Matt Kenseth had retired, and now he had come out of retirement. Two guys that aren't anywhere near retirement, obviously, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, brothers racing together. We saw this virtually all day yesterday. All right, Jeff Burton, what's it like racing against your brother? You and Ward out there on the racetrack. Is there something about, being the best brother on the track, too?
Well, to be honest, it's not fun, right? Because, listen, you said it, you're racing against your brother, not with your brother. That's two different things, right? Kyle Busch right now wants to go beat his brother, and that means he's got to take something from his brother that his brother wants. So let's listen to what Kyle Busch has to say about this battle.
Yeah, a little bit worse than the 3 now with clean air than turbo. Turbo one's actually okay right now. It's just starting to come to me where the rider is getting into the track. It was kind of all the way through, like just blinded, like I was talking about.
I like the feedback. That's calm. That's point. I spoke to Kyle Busch this morning. I asked him about that juice rule with all those crazy restarts. He had an interesting take. Rick, he said, you know what I like about it? Is when I used to start on the inside lane, I was mad because I knew that I was at a deficit. I was in the worst lane. He goes, now if I choose the inside lane, I think, you know what? It was my choice to be down here. here. I'm fired up and I'm going to make the most of that restart. Just perspective sometimes makes me think.
The other thing he said his worst thing was how optimistic he was about the way the car drove yesterday. He was happy with it.
We'll see if he continues to be happy here at Michigan.
Give everyone something to look up to. The all-new Highlander Hybrid. Toyota. Let's go places.
I use ice cream as kind of for medicinal purposes, you know.
Very spicy, delicious. Less dangerous. Every day happens. Every day. Which is why there's a full line of other speed products that can help you get back that slow.
Oh, I did not know it was 3 wide there.
Fast. When every day happens, Love's happens back. We can never do what they do, but what we can do is be a partner that never quits. Verizon is the most reliable network in America, built for interoperability and puts first responders first, giving their calls priority 24/7. We do what we do best, so they can too.
Another bundle in the books.
Your knowledge of Victorian architecture really paid off this time.
Yeah, we just got lucky. So the Thompsons, they're faulty wired could cost a lot more than the money.
Thanks to the bus, the motorcycle with the whole Nano. They're protected 24/7.
What do you say? One more game of backgammon?
Come on, you're late.
Second half of the season. This stretch of road has always been tough. You gotta earn it every week. And this, it means even more. NASCAR on NBC and NCSN. The best racing is now.
Oh man, I already have goosebumps here.
This is wild.
Immersion behind.
There's nothing like it.
Aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. Look down on this massive 2-mile racetrack here. Brooklyn, Michigan, Irish Hills in Michigan. And this is something that, well, none of the competition wanted to see as we take a look at today's Xfinity fastest lap. Kevin Harvick on lap 10, and he has turned the fastest lap. So once again, Kevin Harvick, even though he's not up front, Kevin Harvick running in the 9th position. You remember he started, he was supposed to start 20th, but with all of the cars, he ended up shuffling back to the back. Started a little bit further forward, but Kevin Harvick into the top 10 and has the fastest lap.
Yeah, great thing you mentioned. That's without having clean air, so the competition doesn't want to see that. Well, the other name on that list, Jimmy Johnson, he had the second fastest lap of the race. We talked about how important points were because 48 below the cut line when he had track position to start the race and just unable to keep him. He's fallen back to 11th. He's settled in, but the problem with 11th is that it's 0 points at the end of the stage. Versus William Byron here in the 24 is up in the 4th position, working on the 3rd position. That's 8 for 7 points. So I know what Chad Knaus is saying, and Kelly reported that, you know, they don't want to be 16th in points because a new winner bumps them out. But currently they are outrunning the 48.
You know, you show those fastest laps, Steve. It matters now because the formula to set the lineup for next week, and the fastest lap is part of that formula.
You told me you were excited. You were going to take me through step by step.
There you go.
This is it. Listen, here's the simple fact, guys. It's a complicated formula, but all you need to know is it's about performance. Where you finish matters. How fast you were matters, and where you are in the points matters. I like that better than the random draw. As a crew chief, Rick, I just feel like I got to fight my driver to 10th, 9th, 8th. Hey, man, this position, you may be sick of racing today, but one position may help us for a starting spot next week. So I like the new procedure. And Jeff, there will be a test.
Well, and what I would say, what I would say to that is, Clint Boyer has to feel a little bit better because Clint Boyer thought that the random draw was hurting him over and over and over. Well, all of a sudden, the random draw, the invert process puts him up front. He has a 2 0.7-second lead over the field right now.
So I rolled every time he said it. I said, come on, Boyer, you keep blaming qualifying. I'm going to have to call him up today and apologize for all the eye rolls because, as you mentioned, it's over almost a 3-second lead. You know, 9 to go in this stage. It looks like this could be a very important 10 points for Clint Boyer. Remember, he is winless as well, so he's in that points battle to try to make the playoffs.
So we know he's fast, right? He's driven away, has almost a 3-second lead at this point. So his pit crew has got to keep him out front. He's got to do great restarts to stay out front because what we have seen with this car is when he gets back there in traffic, he cannot maneuver. He can't do what he needs to do. That's what Kyle Busch talked about his car yesterday. He liked his car, but in traffic, he struggled with it. So it shows you how important track position can be. Kelly.
I had a similar conversation with this morning where he said the car really wasn't bad, but to your point, he just felt like he couldn't make any moves or any progress forward, being stuck back in traffic. So he told me with that front row starting spot today, he promised me he was going to be late. He guaranteed to me a stage 1 win. So I put him in my fantasy lineup, and now he's just 8 laps away from doing just that. And these are some valuable playoff wins that they can score 10 stage wins here. That will help cushion that buffer to the cut line. Remember, he won here back in 2018. Another one of those drivers who has a win this season and is really solid result. Ryan Blake, a 4th place finish yesterday, and his crew chief Todd Gordon told me really they were just a little bit too loose to contend. So he went after making some balance adjustments rather than going for raw speed. But he said, hey, if it comes down to us in the 4 car at the end of the race, I give us a shot at it. Pardon me.
Kirkwood sitting in 9th right now, had a terrific run yesterday, but struggled in traffic, and the same exact story today with that #1 monster machine, saying when he gets around other cars, the car just gets way too tight. Over the years, Michigan has been a terrific racetrack for Kirk, hoping he can get another good finish today. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin has not made much progress. Started 17th today. He's only made it up to 13th, while Harvick and other guys, including his teammate Kyle Busch, have made their way much further up in the field. But Denny said something very interesting at the start of the race. He said, we're not showing all we can show right now. We're going to be good by the end of the day. And they told me, hey, on this tire, it takes Denny a while to get going, but he knows when the car can be good, Kelly.
He's really going to find out what his car was made of yesterday. They felt like they had a really fast race car, but he had contact with Martin Truex Jr. early in the race, a flat tire that they had to come in for, and that set him down a lap. They had more damage late in the race and were actually forced to go to the backup car. So they made a few changes, but felt like they learned enough about yesterday. They felt confident. Randall Burnett, his crew chief, told me they felt like they were going to have some speed again today. So starting from the rear, running up to 17th, they have actually been able to make some progress.
Rising up in the top 3, Kyle Busch moved to 3rd position. Steve, you talked about the feedback we heard earlier. It seemed like Kyle's pretty confident and comfortable about this car. His opportunity to try to get that first win today, and he's driving right through his field. Yeah, I mean, his confidence was there. And, you know, we heard it, though, right? He didn't run great, Kyle Busch standards, but he was still pretty positive. But that's the driver I'm looking at right here, Eric Jones in the 20. We continue to talk about the points. Well, he's this is the bubble battle. In front of him, Willie Byron in the playoffs. His first car out of the playoffs, running up forward to him in this statement is Eric Jones. So that's 1 point with the 24. Another 1 point if he can get to the 21. Another point if he gets to the 18. Here you go. A big run. Where's he going then?
He has to check up. Oh my goodness, what a run he had.
I love the fact he just drove it and been there. Going to get beside him and see what happened after that. That was fun.
James Davison probably didn't think it was that much fun. Driving the 51 there as he saw the 20 getting huge in his mirror.
There's 1 point for the 20. Let's free to go. I'm up to 10 points for that 20, Marty. I am encouraging him. Tell him I'm loving what I'm seeing. Go give me some points.
Yeah, Chris Gale definitely saying that Eric's doing a terrific job out there. And I had the chance to visit with Eric before the race. Obviously, the news coming down the street, as you mentioned earlier, Rick, will not be back at Joe Gibbs Racing in 2021. And he said there definitely was a little fire in my belly yesterday to show, hey, you made a mistake. I should be in the 20 car, but I know there are opportunities out there for me. And Steve, speaking of Chris Gale and his relationship with Eric Jones, he called him right after they got the news, and he said, you know what? The best thing for you, the best thing for me, and everybody on this team, go out there and win. Prove your market worthiness and show you deserve to be in the top ride. And who knows, we all may move forward together somewhere else.
I like that, Spence. I mean, I put myself in that position. What would I say? works, but I like that approach, Chris Gale. You know, encourage your driver, let him know, I want you to find a spot. The best thing I can do is to give you fast race cars, and he's done that.
Let's try that. Make it really loose. It's a shorter run. It's about half of a run, so I can get away with a little looser car. So see what we can do with this. Final stop of the day. Unless there's a late caution, it depends. I don't know if I'll pit though, up being this high up. Well, there's not that many trucks on the lead lap, I don't think, so it might work out. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, if we get to it. Who knows if we'll even get to it. The pit stops are underway. Possibly the final pit stop of the race.
He's going to win stage one. He backs up that call. He'll win stage one here at Michigan.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks a lot, Kelly. Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Matt DiBenedetto, Eric Jones. Top five in stage one that inspired Blaney, Harvick, Busch, and Logano.
First guy without any points, you mentioned it, Jimmy Johnson. The only other guy he's racing for that bubble spot.
Struggled with this truck all race.
All the other ones got
very, very tight all race.
Has been on a little bit of winless streak. His last win, though, came at this racetrack back in 2018. Is the momentum there? He won stage one. We'll see if he can stay up front.
Still there.
Yo!
Is now offering an extra 50%
Come on!
motorcycle policies.
Wow, okay.
That's 15% on top of what Geico could already save you. So what are you waiting for? Adina Menzel to sing your own theme song?
Look at her go with a French couple Joe, getting down to work early, following her dreams. It's taxidermy.
It's taxidermy.
I read that wrong. Oh yeah!
Geico. Save an extra 15% when you switch by October 7th.
Ace is the only national retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint. So now Benjamin Moore's premium quality paint, along with Ace's award-winning service, are all right in your neighborhood. Just use Ace's color vision.
So we are catching the leader, but
And with Benjamin Moore's huge selection of colors, you can choose.
I don't know.
No, you're
I think we're too far back, I think.
look no further than Benjamin Moore paint from Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock, with people who know their paint.
Stanley's Cup. There's nothing like playoff hockey. The Stanley Cup playoff first round on the networks of NBC.
Get excited for the plays, for the rush. Get ready to put your business inside the action.
That was your best one I've ever.
Coverage. All right. Favorite sports. Expect reach. We fit together.
We are 3 seconds away from the top 5 here.
Oh, I'm so glad. The PureWick system works outside the body to draw urine away, helping to keep skin dry and control odor.
Friesen got the lead now. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, is the leader slowing down too much to the fact that Friesen would catch him, and he did, and Friesen is pulling away from me again. So Friesen is definitely faster than us. But we are look a little faster than Enfinger right now if we can catch him. I see him up there, 3 trucks ahead, so I don't know if we can catch him. We are catching him, but I don't know. We are running out of time quickly here.
NASCAR on NBCSA is brought to you by Valspar. Available at Lowe's. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. And by Toyota.
Clear high, clear high.
The 120th U.S. Open returns to Wingfoot. Defending champion Gary Woodland joined Tiger Woods, the world's best. They face golf's toughest test. It's coming in September on NBC.
Rick, is it fair to say none of your open qualifiers worked out?
I have to agree with you.
The 20 took the lead back.
All right, guys, on the wall, getting ready. First pit stops. The end of stage 1 happened quick. So now
Spencer Boyd is back in the lead. So that's interesting. I thought he was.
Strategy coming in later, Steve.
I really think it's
I don't know.
for everybody. I figured there's 29 cars in the lead lap. Now, Michigan is a very big pit road. We saw a huge accident in Indianapolis, a narrow pit road. I would just be reminding my driver it's going to be busy. 30 cars on the lead lap. Let's not dent any fenders or sides here early in the race.
We're leading the lead lap cars onto pit road, Marty.
8th to 2nd for Christopher Bell. Had a nice run there in the first stage of the race and gets those stage points as well. So the car started tight, migrated free the longer they ran. He's pretty happy with it though. Kyle Busch extremely happy with race car. In fact, said it got better the longer they ran. If they can fix the freest early in the run, that's his concern, Kelly.
Looks like they're good on his promise to win stage 1. He said car was a tick green, but not bad. And yes, that's
Yeah, I'm not gonna catch him.
down a little bit.
I'm gonna miss out on this top 5 here. Barely, but
Victor had to help the driver out. Unfortunately, not the case. He loses 2 spots on the pit road.
How about Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, both gaining spots. They come off 1-2.
Find your keys. Find your get up and go. Find fans that aren't sweats. Find your friends. Find your sense of wonder.
come on, I can't even clear him, man. I'm.
At Chevy, we like to now during the Chevy Open Road Sales Event, get up to 15% of MSRP cash back on the 2021. That's over $5,700 cash back on this Equinox. It's time to find new roads again.
So you can have chocolate, you can have marshmallow, you can have graham cracker.
But they're just ingredients.
Yes, until you actually melt them together, they're not a s'more.
No.
This is a s'more.
Toasted s'more shake.
Well, what happened to Spencer Boyd? Did he have to pit? We are in the top 5. I think he pitted.
And puts first responders first, giving their calls priority 24/7.
He must not have been able to make it or something. Wow.
You want that new car feeling to last forever.
How about that? We are going to get a top 5, a 5th place finish at Kansas Speedway. Stewart Friesen with another victory. I think he just won the last one I did.
Earlier this week, Friesen teamed up with NASCAR to salute our frontline healthcare workers. A display of vehicles, including NASCAR haulers, took a trip by Henry Ford Allegiance Health in Jackson, Michigan, where they celebrated frontline workers and their efforts to help keep the local community safe. In addition to the celebration, Friesen provided meals to the hospital staff. I want to thank you to Friesen and NASCAR for saluting those local heroes. And we want to go to the Charlotte studios, the NBC Charlotte studios, where we have...
Oh, his 3rd victory of the season. Look how close the points are.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. That's a great initiative you just showed there from Michigan. But back here,
Yeah, we went through 9 races,
that first stage.
and it's still close. You don't need playoffs, people. We don't need playoffs. I'm just saying.
Well, Kyle Busch is running, got off pit road extremely well. He's put himself in great position for this restart. Also, that 4-car, man, he just finds a way throughout the day to keep putting himself in good spots. Christopher Bell lost 8 positions on pit road, so I think it's the mistakes. You cannot make mistakes if you're going to contend at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, certainly. Clint Boyer's been saying, hey, put me out front. Give me a car that I can do something with. I need better qualifying position, which was a draw most of the time. But he did exactly what he needed to do. Had a great stage there, a lot of confidence there. Kyle Busch's crew did a fantastic job, and he was going to be really happy to look up in his mirror and say, oh, dang, or something like that, when he saw the 4-car was right behind him.
But he said more than that.
A lot of drivers making the most of those good starting positions after that inversion from yesterday's race, Rick.
All right, it's time for the choose rule.
It is. But Rick, we just heard Brad Doherty talk about mistakes. Big mistake for the 12 of Ryan Blaney. They came down pit road. Didn't get the car.
Extreme Dirt Tour race at Charlotte come up next.
Choose rule. All right, it's pretty simple. You get to the start-finish line just past. There's orange V. You want to start on the inside, you hang a left. You want to start on the outside, you hang a right. The only thing you need to do is left or right, pick, and pick soon, because if you hit that orange box right there, that can be tough to see, you will go to the tail end of the longest line. So we saw a lot of guys take the top drivers. That was the preferred line yesterday. What do you think they learned yesterday we might see different today?
You mentioned it. They said it's hard to see. A lot of these guys are having trouble seeing that small triangle painted on the racetrack. Especially as the sun goes down and the shade is cast across that racetrack on the front straightaway. It's even harder to see.
They've actually added a cone.
Three of them.
Yeah. Well, they were there yesterday, but I was told they might add another one just to make it a little bit easier. Not sure that they did, but let's see who picks what. I think Kevin Harvick, that team, 6 spots on pit road. That was really that team's weak point in the past, but this year they have been phenomenal on pit road. Clint Boyer going to the top.
So William Byron will choose the bottom. And we saw a push help that bottom line take the lead a couple times yesterday. Randy Johnson jumped in behind the 24 as well.
It's definitely worked for that guy on the inside line up front. What's been hardest for that guy who's in third, the guy who's in fifth. The cars that aren't on the front row on that inside line really need to be aggressive, forcing their way into the upper groove, try not to lose too much off of turn 2. That momentum off of turn 2 is what's critical on these restarts.
We saw talking about that. We just saw the 14, right? He was leading this race. He came on pit road, lost two spots, came out third. He picked the top. So essentially he's restarting 6th.
That's right.
Why did he pick the top? Because he was afraid if he went to the bottom leading and it didn't work out, he could find himself 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. So he just doesn't have confidence in his car to go take that chance to try to get the lead from the bottom.
Well, I'm proud of it. As the drivers adapt to this rule, our friends down at Graphics have adapted as well. They're going to give this for the viewers at home to understand. 1 through 10, you see where they lined up on the right-hand side. +2 for Byron, +4 for Jimmy by choosing the bottom. Joey Logano, +3. You mentioned it. Clint Boyer really lost 3 spots by staying in the top. So you see a lot of movement within the top 10 through the choose rule.
But think about it. He came out third. He would have restarted in the same spot, right? If he would have picked the bottom, like he's just afraid of the bottom right now. Just completely afraid to restart in that bottom lane.
Kyle Busch leading the field into the Geico restart zone. Busch, William Byron making up row 1 as we get back underway for stage 2.
Very organized at the top. 2 veterans out there. No surprise. I mean, them guys have done it for so long, and look how well clear they are. Of course, trying to get that outside here. He's trying to get that outside quarter mile. He's way up the racetrack.
Now remember yesterday there was a little bit of bumping and it moved the 18 out of the way. Now the 4 helps the 18, but the 4 passes him, and now Kevin Harvick back in front in Michigan.
Wow, same thing we saw from Kevin Harvick yesterday. That's how he would get the lead back. Push somebody to jump on the outside of him. There you go. Clint Boyer chose that outside lane, right? If he comes out of this restart in third, he's going to consider that a victory because he wasn't going to really be able to pass both those guys. Restart on the outside, he just was afraid he was going to lose spots. So they got what they wanted out of that restart.
Right, look where Jimmy Johnson is now. He restarted third. Got way up, goes back to 5th place. It's so hard for those guys on the inside line. That guy on the front, William Byron, hanging in there in 4th for the battle. He's going to get some help. Jones down into turn 3. Jones using that high groove is going to try. He's going to have to lift. Going to try to get the outside at 24. Couldn't make it work.
And who gets the run? Eric Jones was way out of the gas. Is anybody? There it is. Joey Logano, Kurt Busch on the bottom, trying to take advantage of him lifting.
I don't know why. I still don't know why my whole first season is vanished. It's not even there. I don't know why, but it's weird. Should still be there. But anyway, we'll be back in a little bit here for Charlotte as we get ready for the 4th race of the season for the Extreme Dirt Tour coming up next.
Mark Truex Jr. down into turn 3 here.